Hello, welcome back to Board with Paint. Today we'll be finishing up Skeletor by painting his mount Panthor. For the purposes of this video, I'm only going to show you how to paint Panthor. If you want to see how I painted Skeletor, check out the video I'm linking above. Without further ado, let's get started. We'll begin by dry brushing Panthor with some titanium white. To do this, we first load the brush up with paint, and then brush off all the excess on a paper towel. I plan on using Speedpaint to base coat Panthor, so this dry brush will make the contrast stand out more. Now we'll paint all of Panthor's body using Moonlake Coral from the Army Painter Speedpaint line. This should be applied somewhat thick and allowed to pool into all the recesses. Next, we'll base coat the claws using black gray. I apologize for my light being in the way. I didn't realize that. It'll be gone in a few seconds. Next, we'll mix some Leadbelcher with some olive green and use that to paint all of the armor. We'll fill in Panthor's eyes with some ice yellow. For the teeth, I'm using Vallejo Model Color Ivory. Next, we'll mix in some ivory with the black gray and apply some highlights to the claws. This will be applied to the top areas of each nail. Now we'll brighten it up slightly with some more ivory and apply a second highlight. This will be applied over a smaller area that we covered on the previous highlight. Next, we'll paint the leather strap underneath the armor with Zandri Dust. And we'll move on to the highlights by mixing in some ivory to lighten it up. I'm primarily highlighting just the edges of the strap. Now I'm adding a little bit more ivory and applying a second highlight. Now we'll try to add some depth to the shadows of the armor by mixing some black gray into the original mix of Leadbelcher and olive green. I'm thinning this down and applying this only in the lower areas of the armor, leaving the upper areas untouched. Now we'll create an armor highlight color by mixing some olive green with silver and then thinning it down with a little bit of water. And here I'm just going to glaze this in over the upper parts of the armor. You can also use an unthinned mix of this to do some edge highlights. Here I'm adding a bit more silver just to get those edge highlights brighter. We're going to use speed paint to highlight Panthor's fur, so I'm first applying titanium white over all of the areas that are going to receive a highlight. This should significantly boost the contrast of those areas when we apply our second coat of speed paint. While I wait for that to dry, I'm applying Agrax Earthshade over the leather strap. I'm also applying this to the teeth, where it should pull in the recesses and bring some separation. Now we'll move on to highlighting the fur, returning to the base color Moonlake Coral. This time we're going to thin it down with some Speedpaint Medium. And just as before, we'll apply this over the entire area of the body. Once that's fully dry, I'm painting in the nose with black gray. We'll paint the base exactly as we did in previous videos, starting with a base coat of Iraqi Sand. We'll then use Vallejo Game Color Cold Gray and pick out all of the stones that are on the base. We'll now hit the nose with some highlights, mixing in some ivory to the black gray. And we'll boost the highlight with some more ivory and apply it over a slightly smaller area on the top of the nose. Once the base is dry, we can apply Agrax Earthshade over the entire area to bring out the texture. And finally, we'll paint the entire rim of the base with pure black from Vallejo Model Color. And here we have Panthor being ridden heroically by Skeletor. Or evilly by Skeletor, however you want to put it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like it. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or X, or whatever they call it now. Regardless of that, thanks again for watching, and I wish you all happy painting. He-Man.